Star Wars is dying, and it has become a complete and total disgrace and embarrassment for fans across the globe. And today we got some terrible news for Ahsoka, which shows that this is yet another Star Wars flop that is on our hands. And now today we have some insane stuff to get into coming from Zack Snyder and his team, who are putting out the Rebel Moon film for Netflix, which is going to be a huge opportunity for Netflix to seize a lot of the fans, a lot of the audiences who have become alienated by Disney when it comes to Star Wars. They see this as a major opportunity and they are seizing it, and it got so crazy in this interview today with Zack Snyder and his team that they are flat out just saying F Star Wars, okay? This is where we're at right now. This is how much of an embarrassment Star Wars has become. We're gonna get into the interview and see what they have to say about it, but Ahsoka viewership down sharply from The Mandalorian, on par with Andor, so it is looking absolutely terrible for Ahsoka. According to new viewership data provided by the analytics company Samba TV, Ahsoka's debut episode, which landed on Disney Plus on August 22nd, was watched in 1.2 million US households during the live plus 5-day viewing window. Episode 2, which dropped the same evening, was queued up by 956,000 households. So you can already see there's such a huge drop-off from the first episode to the second episode, which is absolutely insane. So the Rebel Moon team was glad the project didn't end up being in the Star Wars universe. F Star Wars. So we have some pretty spicy comments coming from the team for Rebel Moon when it comes to Star Wars that we're going to get into here. This shows just how pathetic this franchise has become. The comparisons between Rebel Moon and Star Wars aren't idle ones, as the two films were actually linked upon inception. As producer and Zack Snyder's wife, Deborah Snyder, explained at the event, once it was a Star Wars film and I never wanted it to be. I remember I said to Zack, I just feel like your hands are going to be tied so much in what that IP is, even though it kind of lived outside of it. So I was kind of happy when that fell apart, because I always felt like it was better. We learned so much with all our years working with the superheroes and creating those worlds, and to do something now that's wholly original, we got to do a little bit of that in the world of zombies, yada yada yada. So, and that's one of the reasons why I'm excited for Rebel Moon, is because it is an original property, even if it definitely feels like a Star Wars in a lot of ways. It at least is something original, which means that it gives them a lot more room to explore something, especially without having the boot of Disney on their neck, which is exactly what we're doing with EpicVerse. Everything that we're doing with EpicVerse is 100% original, and that is something that I find to be very exciting with what we're doing. There's no sequels, remakes, none of that stuff, reboots, none of that coming from EpicVerse, and that's something that we find to be very exciting. It's all just completely original here. So anyway, so we got this as well. Producer Eric Newman echoed Deborah's sentiments in terms of Rebel Moon, but I remember Zack telling me at some point, this has got to be 15 years ago, saying, I'm thinking of doing 7 Jedi in the Star Wars universe, and I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. Then a few years later, he calls me and goes, you know, I think it could be a television show. I'm like, yes, let's do this. F Star Wars. Let's do this as a TV show. And one of the movies that we talked a lot about doing about way back when, from the beginning, I think we probably bonded over it, was Heavy Metal, which I know most of you know. It was an R-rated science fantasy thing that kind of blew our minds, and if you're going to see that there are a lot of influences, and a lot of that has made its way into this film. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below when it comes to Rebel Moon. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll talk to you all in another video very soon.